All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome once again. This is Sigurd Chronosecht, Clockwork Wizard at your service. Today, we are playing Final Fantasy XIV. And this time, we're picking up where we left off last stream. So what happened last stream? If in case you're noticing some sort of deja vu right now, because we ended up going back to the same spot we ended up sitting in last time. And just to sum it up, we found out who the Ivy is, and we also found a trace of where Lady Iceheart was, and thanks to a friend by the name of Moenbryda. Moenbryda is the Sharlayan scholar. She's Rogadin, and thanks to her, we managed to give chase and catch up on Lady Iceheart. And from that point, upon reaching Lady Iceheart, we fought her along with 7 of our companions. So it's an 8-man raid at that point. It's a fight that allowed us to defeat that particular primal that she summoned. Amusingly, she summoned it on herself. An interesting detail that we should note. And another notable detail there is there's a possible hint that she may have what we have, the Echo. Or is it? We're not sure because she's hinting about it and it's not exactly said per se. Like she's hinting that she might be a warrior of flight, even considering that she mentioned Hydaelyn, not Zodiark, Hydaelyn. So there's a lot of interesting notes here and there. Let's go ahead and head back to Snowcloak and meet up with our friend over there. Though in this case, I think the one we were looking for is Alphino. So let's see what happens next. Also, from the looks of it, it won't be long before we will start switching jobs again. We're going to be switching to Samurai most likely, but we'll change our outfit afterwards. We're going to see if we can find a really good outfit that suits the class. So here we go. Currently running through... Oh, so it's Moenbryda rather. That's waiting for us. Let's go ahead and check. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? Agreed. I'll get everyone to meet us there. Before that, you had best pay a visit to White Front and speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. That or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he's, well, delighted. He's going to be delighted to see you hale and hearty. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. You'll be in combat mode while I expand your duration. Also, White Rim Front it is. To fly. Okay, getting there, getting there. There it is, White Rim Front. Let's go inside. That's different guy. Nope, that's not him. Here we go. And there's Alphino. There he is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that a warrior of light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. And thus we regale our tale. Hey Sigurd! Oh, hi Solaire, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you along. we just got started, and we just got back from our spot where we last stopped, and we're now back in the story. So looks like we have some noise in the background, so do pardon me. There's some folks moving here about, trying to get about their business. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have the Sigurd to thank. Yes, you are right. Of course, Sir Emerick. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is a matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Garlemald, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance to your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies that the heretics stole from the House Vartam caravan? Less the crystals, which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of which that was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Sigurd, might it trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. Oh, it's our best friend. And to check on him. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Please, do not think less of him. Yep, that's our buddy. That's our buddy Horsefont, I can tell. Let's go check on him. Come on. Run. Oh, this is the other way. One moment. We're gonna fly. Okay. Back to Dragonhead. Okay, one quick second. Alright, welcome back. And we're back. Ooh. Oh boy. Now trying to ponder on the jobs that we'll be using for this, if in case we're going to keep up with current set that we have, or if we're going to add some more. Probably a couple of other jobs. But we'll see. You can tell we have some mains in mind. Ah, here we go. Camp Dragonhead. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Alright, let's see how this goes. What were you thinking, Sigurd? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient warning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway. And then, engaging the abomination in mortal combat. By the Fury, Sigurd, it's the stuff of ballads. A battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight at your side. Yet, here I was, forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I can imagine he's trying to scream at us at this one. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that's what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Aymeric wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Oh boy. I wonder what's up. So back here again, huh? Very well, very well. We're getting so close to Heavensward. Yeah, that's right. I think we're getting there. And I have a feeling at this point we might need to do Crystal Tower right up next. So I'm getting the sense that that will happen soon. And I think I'll be playing as healer in Crystal Tower, just in case. Gonna see if in case I can handle it. But I'm afraid I might screw up something up, but we'll find out. Considering I'm using a Scholar for the whole thing. Anyway, here we go. Greetings, sir. I shall show you in at once. Into the intercessory we go.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Aymeric, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's Toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind.
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Ooh, we got some info.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
All right. Just got some stuff. Okay, here we go. Eyes unclouded. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. Defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete appraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garland Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but her civilized peoples as well. Any lingering objection to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we would well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come. It is better that we continue this conversation in Moenbryda. And so it is. It's time to go there. So, let's drive our way to Moenbryda. Although, instead of the usual route that we take to Moenbryda, we're gonna take the other route. We're gonna pass by the river and head there soon. And depending on how this goes, we might end up ending the stream slightly early. Reason for that? I think my energy levels are tanking today. I just went through an event just now. Specifically, there was a party that someone in my house got invited for, so they brought me along, and kind of joined in on the festivities, but it was a little too much in terms of energy levels that it kind of used up what I had for the day. So I ended up feeling a little sluggish, a little sleepy. And my only time for respite has been taken from me, so I have to take the chance to snooze it out later. Maybe snooze it out earlier than the expected hour. But considering that there's that, and then there's also this bit about trying to complete the story, I think we might need to make headway for this first. So yeah, there's a chance we might crash early, both of us. And for those who are watching the VOD, this would explain why the stream might be short. But don't you worry, we're gonna make sure we're gonna deliver a lot. We're gonna make sure everything, or at least a lot of the stuff that happens here, gets done. So we're gonna try to make sure we accomplish a bunch of things despite the short duration. So here we go. We're back in Moenbryda. We're back in Revenant's Toll and back into the Rising Stones. Now, for some of you, it might already be work time since it's already Monday. For us here, it's Sunday and it's about to be Monday soon enough. So for some of us, especially on this side of the realm, we might have to crash early. That's why the decision I had for starting the stream earlier than before, instead of 10 a.m., instead of 11 p.m., I went for 10 p.m. Central Time. Hoping that everybody gets to catch this while we enjoy the amount of time, but at the same time being able to sleep on time. Oh boy, I can feel it already. But don't you worry. Now, before we continue, let me grab something real quick. I'll just mute the microphone, and I'll be right back. One moment. I'm gonna grab something. And we're back. Also, glad to see you along here. Hey, Flatless Bird, welcome to the stream. Just had to go back behind the scenes real quick. Had to mute it just to see what's going on right there. I got some folks packing up their bags because they might be flying off sometime this week. They'll be away for a month. Probably a month or 2 months, I don't know. I'm not sure about the duration, but we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, let's continue the story. We just got back.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it. Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogglmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well.
There it is.
If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Damn, the plot is really thickening. Whew. Almost there. This game is really giving us the suspense here. Look at it. Look at that XP bar right there. Just a few more and then we're done. We're gonna reach level 51 with a red mage. Here we go. Let's do this. I mean to scour the annals of a foreknowledge of Midgard Sormer. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Uh-oh. Something's up. Okay, boy, what's up? Sigurd, 'tis well that you are on hand. We have a problem. Roai has escaped. It happened shortly after the immortal flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead for her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards, displaying she received inside help. Citizens report seeing Roai quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castro Meridianum, I am certain. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilberd and the First are hot on Roai's heels. Pray make haste to clamp Blue Fog and join in the hunt. To Blue Fog we go. Yes. That doesn't sound good. To get going. Take flight. Oops. So there's no path here, no path there. And there it is. We have a path there. We'll just need to go the other way. There's really a lot going on in Realm Reborn, so we're going to be tackling a bunch. Okay, Castrum Sentry, and then past Castrum Sentry. Here we are. Off to Blue Fog. Somehow when I hear that song, you can tell something's up. Like, some planning is in order. Yeah, it's a lot of filler. But it's more of like a mix of filler and groundwork in terms of story. It's like they're really building up a bunch of things. It's just a matter of figuring out which one is being built on. Okay, here we are. Why, thanks for coming, Scion. I have spoken with the soldiers here. They say that Roai walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Raubon's decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her, and so here we are. Roai must not be allowed to reach Castro Meridianum. So we shall. Like up. We're chasing this one. Had a brief collision there. Ow. Dang basilisk. Nope, I don't want these behind me. Got no time to kill those things. Okay. Solo fight, here we go. Solo duty time. This wretch was Wilroi. He threw himself at us and that his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down. Not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own. God's damned harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna wipe them all out. Let's do this. Kill the rest. Ooh, what the hell? We got assistance. Alright, here we go. Oh, they got death claws. Oh no. Let's blow them up. Oh, they got healers, or do they? That is not good. Alright, if that's how you want it. Perfect. This one I want to kill. Let's blast this one up. Let's make sure there's no one to fill the ranks anymore. Oh, that's how you're doing it, huh? Blast them all. Oh, we got some Domans. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, you don't. Alright, you giddy. There we go. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What do you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who had never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think you're God's given right to rule over others. You know not of our plight. The injustice that we low-born Ishgardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people but resources to be consumed. I did what I have to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It is no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear it tell it, one would think you're the only one person to have ever suffered. In case you have forgotten, Rauban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth with little more than the shirts of our backs. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our life. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we were dealt with, played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it. Took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? It is true that we were both mercenaries of lowly birth. It is true that we both have our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my own arm than raise a hand against a friend. Wait a second. But enough talk. You'll return to Ul'dah to face justice. The people who trust you have dragged through the gutter. Face Ul'dah and her people. Not so much a hint of remorse. Just well that this sordid business is finally at an end. Friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Rauban chose his. Well, that hurts.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Rauban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Oh, he's not planning anything right. I have a bad feeling about this. Okay, that's our sign. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. When we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Roban, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and apprise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Roai in high regard. For better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. Okay then. Oh, and one quick thing before I do that. I want to use something real quick here. There we are. That's more like it. Okay, now back to our other thing. Rising Stones it is. It's been a while since we used a samurai. But at this level, I think this is manageable. Okay, here we go. Back to Mordona. Alright, that's how you want it. That should do it. Okay, Aetherite, there we go. Now let's change our garb. So, should I go with red or should I go with purple? I think I'll go with this one. Just because it looks nice. Looks regal and everything. Princely even.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alphino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent. I know not what to say. Together with Robon, Eline lent us much-needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Scions. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moenbryda, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with White Auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Scion souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to Auracite's inherent limitations, we must needs be wary of our enemy's strength. Our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Scion soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Scion soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Habrea.
During that encounter, Hydaelyn bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Habrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void. The fact remains, however, that Hydaelyn placed the means to destroy the Scions in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Hydaelyn did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had two pieces of White Auracite? One to trap the Scion, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the Auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
No escape. Poor dude.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident of the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
Aye, yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldesion. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
All indications suggest Ascian involvement, but I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the Dark Beings call the One True God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Oh boy, it's getting crazier and crazier. We've been hearing notes about the Isle of Val, we've been hearing the notes about the Ascians and how to defeat them, such as the use of the White Auracite, and so on.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea. So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the media project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Gallemald from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the Primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varis Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, why you must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monetarist scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! One day I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
Yeah, show them, Roban.
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartiner Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Uldar whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the immortal flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Uldar's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monitorists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the immortal flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Uldar.
Oh boy.
The true wealth of Uldar lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The monitorists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Uldar to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Oh no, I don't know what she's planning here.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Rauban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves, for a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Uldar.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monitorists shall cease to be. Uldar will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Rauban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
Okay, there's a sign. Also, so let's unpack what happened just now for all of you watching live and all of you watching after the fact. In other words, you're watching the VOD in this case. So for those who are watching right now, what we witnessed a while ago was, aside from unpacking the scenarios about the fates of those in Uldar, of those in Kurthus, all that stuff. So we have this happening right now. First and foremost, trying to figure out a way to defeat the Scions. We have one part of the puzzle, which is the White Auracite, which may have the capability to entrap its target. Because as you noticed earlier, it is capable of storing enough ether to act as an arcane battery of sorts before it is channeled to something else. Which is nice, that's promising. But they're still figuring out the other half, which means if they can counter one half by trapping the Ascian, what about destroying the Ascian completely? That's where they need another concentration of ether, which they haven't figured out yet. So that's the second thing they're trying to figure out right now. Secondly, what we noticed earlier, aside from having Blah. I'm not gonna say her name now, it's too much. But having Eline now being captured, interrogated, and now they found out who she's working for, which is Emperor Varis. This will now make things a little more quirkier, because also there's stuff happening in Ul'dah behind the scenes. Yes, as you noticed, there's some intrigue taking place, and it seems that what Nanamo is now suggesting in terms of her plans is possibly abolish not only the monetarists but also the faction of the royalists, which there's a possibility they might go to transforming their governance into a sort of a republic, if you will, or a council, which will now be quirkier and trickier than expected. So if they're going to aim for democracy, this is where chaos will ensue. This is going to be where things get extremely tricky. Now, we're in this scenario where we need to do the Navel and the Howling Eye. So we are going to queue in as a scholar. But before we do that, let's go back. We are going to the rising. We're going to the Waking Sands, people. We're flying to the Waking Sands. There's still time to go to the Waking Sands. So this is the part where we'll be doing the series of trials. We're going to be queuing to one of them. We'll be queuing into one of them again, and then we'll see where we'll end up afterwards. And then after this, it will be, as expected, the Crystal Tower. There we go. Ah, Sigurd, I heard you have triumphed over Ifrit. Of course, there's no less a feat than I would expect of a warrior of light, but well done all the same. Now, I full had a mind to crack open a bottle of a 1547 Bacchus, but the celebration must keep. Garuda, I'm afraid, has also returned. As you well know, Garuda's appetite for destruction far exceeds that of other primals. Not to dishearten you, but in her latest incarnation, that appetite has become nigh insatiable. In a short time since her return, she has already wreaked tremendous havoc. You must send her back to the Aether before she can do any more damage. In the meantime, Ida and I will assist the Order of the Twin Adder in their recovery effort. When you previously faced Garuda, it was the Enterprise that bore you through the storm that shielded her domain. Well, that storm is as a spring breeze besides what she has raised this time. No airship could hope to penetrate it. So, we must count ourselves fortunate that the Order of the Twin Adder chanced to discover a bemusement aetherite leading to the Howling Eye. Before you do aught else, I suggest you pay a visit to the Adder's Nest and have words with Commander Hulwa. He'll be able to tell you about the said aetherite, among other things. Make no mistake, the Lady of the Vortex will prove a formidable opponent, but I believe that you can weather the storm. May the 12 keep you safe. Oh boy. Let's see how this is gonna end. First things first, let's check Limsa Laminsa. We're gonna go and check the other location that we have there and see how they're doing. First, the aft castle. We're gonna go check on our company. Let's check the Grand Company real quick, see how we're doing. If we can promote our ranks, then that will be good. If not, well, eh. Not enough seals. Dang it. We can't do any of the supplying yet. Well, that's gonna be a pain. So we'll have to figure out something else. I guess it would be a good idea then to level up another class just to get us more of the thing. But if we're gonna do the leveling mid, like on stream, we're gonna find out. But for now, we're just gonna head towards the airship landing and finish the trials that we're missing. So here we are. Let's head to Britannia. And we should be there shortly. So for all of you watching, you might be wondering why I suddenly switched to Scholar. The answer? This is hoping that we get to queue up fast and ensuring that we secure a role in the fight. Because for DPS job, the counter tends to be longer. So the wait is longer than expected. Whereas if you play as a tank or a healer, you're likely to pop a queue real fast. Problem is, you also have quite a responsibility in playing those roles. I'm pondering about whether I should be able to pull it off as a tank at some point in the future once we unlock Gunbreaker. But for now, I think I should be able to fulfill healer duties with Scholar and in the future possibly Astrologian and Sage. I'm gunning for those 3 healers. Though, in case we were curious about how it's going to be like once we have Black and White Mage also included in the list and basically unlock all the magic classes, well, we'll just try and find out. Sigurd of the Silence. We are grateful for your aid. As you will already know, the accursed Ixal has summoned Garuda once more. Since her return, she has wasted no time unleashing her fury upon the region. Extensive damage has been reported in both Twelveswood and Curthis. She must be stopped, and soon, lest more lives be lost. In the name of the Elder Seed Seer, I humbly request you to put an end to her reign of terror. As in the past, Garuda keeps her court within the Howling Eye, which is perpetually protected by a raging tempest. Fortunately, we have learned of an alternate way into her domain. The Ixal have constructed an aetherite within Natalan, their stronghold in the central highlands of Curthis. This aetherite will take you to Garuda's tempestuous realm. We owe this discovery to the Guardians who, the Elder Seed Seer says, desire to repay the kindness you showed them. For the sake of our people as well as theirs, may your mission be met with success. Which screams trial. Okay, so let's exit down by the northern shroud, and then we're going to fly. Or just go chocobo and run about, and then fly. Now, we're going to be hitting close to midnight real soon, so if things go well and we get to go through the Garuda fight, we might be able to end the stream after that. And then we'll pick up again next week. As for what's going to be showing next week, aside from our current game, I'm going to leave that as a surprise. But the surprise game might happen possibly not on a Friday, but not on a Thursday, but on a Friday. Or rather, it's not going to be on a Saturday. It might be a Friday. But we'll see what's going to happen first. I'll let you know what's going to be the first thing you'd like to do. So expect a poll to show up later on. I'm going to link it on Discord, and I'm going to link the post as well to all of you. I'm going to ask that poll. Hopefully we get an answer within the week, and then I'll let you know what the featured game is once we hit that day. So will it be Final Fantasy XIV, or will it be a different game? We'll find out soon. But first, off to Natalan. Let's account the attuning of this aetherite. Jajan. There we go. The Howling Eye. We're now queuing in, and let's see what happens if we queue in. Also, there's fun using the Scholar class in Final Fantasy XIV Tabletop RPG. Kind of behaves differently compared to the one in game. Although there are some things that makes it feel like you're still playing the same character or the same job. For instance, the ability to make shields as you heal. Oh, don't worry. I'm about to hop off as well, so I think this is going to take too long. So I think we might have to save this for the next stream. So I think we'll end it here. Let's end it here. Anyway, I don't think we're going to have our luck today. This is our queue. We'll be heading back to base first. We're going to go to Mordona, and we'll log off there, and then we'll queue there. So anyway, just to give you a heads up, we're going to be streaming on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As for the times, you'll find out soon. I might stream early for Friday, maybe Saturday as well, but I'm still figuring out what to do on Saturday. Sunday is also going to be the time when I'm going to stream a little early. So those are the 3 days I'm targeting. Thanks for all that you've done for us, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this stream. I'll see you again next time. Take care, and may you walk in the light of the crystal. So let's log off here. Well, I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.